episode of the Mastadon Creates podcast, episode 21. My name is Tori or Victoria, the mastermind behind the crazy, and today is April 25th, a fine Saturday here in just south of Madison, Wisconsin. Before we roll right into the episode, which I have all kinds of stuff to show today, you can find me a few places online. You can find me on Instagram as Victoria Schwanke, that's where I'm most active. You can find me on Ravelry as lilwestie, lilwestie. You can find me, of course, on the blog, woolymastodon.wordpress.com, as well as YouTube, and then Facebook as well, although Facebook is mostly just things off where you can find you can find me the links to my YouTube channel as well as my blog. For the most part, I share everything from Instagram onto Facebook, so if you're on Instagram, you're not missing anything new. I'm just looking at my notes here, and with that, we'll dive in. I actually have quite a bit to show this time around, which is exciting. Not a lot of new projects because I'm hopefully scheming to start those later today and tomorrow, but for now it's mostly projects that I've finished. I have FOs, guys. I have finished objects. That is crazy and exciting, and I am here for it, and I'm going to show you. So the first and most exciting finished object, guys, it's done. I have finished my bigger on the inside shawl. I'm trying to see which way. Yep, you're seeing the right way. / wave deck. The patterns that I combined are wave deck and bigger on the inside, both by Kate Atherley, both free patterns on knitty.com. So definitely take a look if you're interested. So anything that I share now is not give spoilers because the pattern is free, but look at this. It's huge. I will try to insert some photos that I took a little earlier here of the finished object because this is not doing it justice because you're just seeing my face behind the lace. But this is fantastic. So I started out with, let's try to hold this up here, this more mesh-like section here. This is wave deck. And wave deck, that's actually the bulk of that particular shawl. Because I did the wave deck lace section, then I went into the bigger on the inside TARDIS chart, which is, let's try to show this here to the best of my ability, right here. Hopefully you can see that, hopefully you can see the TARDIS there, but it's really cool in person, and I'll try to make sure I get a couple photos in here, but there is a TARDIS right there. And then I finished it off with the wave deck lace edging. And I am very pleased. Several people made this mod on Ravelry. This was not my original idea. I came up with it from seeing other people had already done this. And it was relatively easy to adjust because once you do the wave deck lace chart, you actually just increase not that many stitches to have the right amount of stitches for the TARDIS chart. And then I had to increase, again, like maybe 2 stitches to do the lace edging to have the right edge. So it was very, very smooth and very seamless to combine these patterns together. So thank you to everyone on Ravelry who had already done that and inspired me to do this. But it's huge. I love it. It's a 2-skein shawl. So the stats on this was knit out of Knit Pick Stroll. Oh, I need to remember this finally. It's done. It's the Deep Waters Tonal by Knit Picks in their Stroll fingering base. Very beautiful. I've had this yarn in my stash for quite a while because I had purchased this yarn specifically to make the bigger on the inside shawl. As I had rambled on before, I wasn't sold on the lace chart. That wasn't the TARDIS chart on the actual bigger on the inside shawl. So this is like completely up my alley. And I'm so glad people did this before me and left detailed notes. So I will have to leave some detailed notes as well because I want to share the love. And this was knit on US 6 4mm needles all the way through, including the bind off, all the way through. I love it. Where is that little tiny ball of yarn I have left? I actually don't have that much left. I guess it just disappeared. I have about like this much left of the yarn. Now that's gonna bug me. I don't know what I did with it. Oh well. Sorry guys. But I didn't have much yarn left. I was able to do quite well using up most of the yarn. I did cut maybe 2 rows out of how long edging should be, and I really don't miss it because I didn't want to play solid yarn chicken and then have to rip out. And honestly, I probably would have made it, but I'm happy that I didn't. I stopped when I did, so I didn't have to have the stress of wondering if I would have enough. But anyway, Bigger on the Inside / Wave Deck by Kate Atherley. I am in love. When we are finally able to go back to the office, because honestly it'll be kind of nice to go back to the office. I love being at home and I love not going anywhere, but I feel like going into the office pushes me out of my comfort zone and makes me interact with people in a way that I otherwise wouldn't necessarily seek out on my own. Anyway, I'm just that kind of person. But I am so excited to wear this once that day comes, because I will see if people actually notice that there are TARDIS on here. Tardi. What is the plural to a TARDIS? Tardi? I don't know. But anyway, it'll just be fun to like let the nerdy flag fly. I'm so excited. But my first and most exciting finished object right here. I cannot wait to wear this. It is just so cool. And I'm glad it's finally knit and not just sitting in my queue on Ravelry for years and years as it had been. So that feels good to have knit up. Better than my expectations. I love this thing. So we'll move on to the next one. My next finished object is finally this hat. The ribbing on this hat has been on the needles forever. I had started knitting this hat right after I finished this one. I was just designing or using stitch patterns for some quick hats that I was possibly going to sell. I don't know if I'll just sell this kind of stuff. I don't know that that's going to be on the radar anymore right now. I may just wash these up and use them for gifts if somebody wants a hat. But I finished this one. I used the same stitch pattern. I don't know if you can tell, but I definitely messed it up on the tan hat. So this is what it's supposed to look like. It's a herringbone pattern. And on this one, this is what it looks like. And I'm really not mad at it. I didn't rip it out because I thought it looked cool. So anyway, I'll put this on for a second. But it fits well. It's ever so slightly slouchy. Got the nice pom-pom on the top. Definitely comfy. I don't have a tiny head. I don't have a huge head either. So this still has more stretch to it, but it's not super loose on my head. So it could fit a variety of sizes. And I really like it. If you're looking for how the formula I made to knit this hat, I have very detailed pattern notes on this one, and I'm probably just going to copy and paste those pattern notes to this hat. And yeah, it was just a quick recipe I did for how many I cast on because I don't remember right off the bat. But this is also knit on. This was on I think US 6 and US 7s. I think it is 6 for the brim and 7 for the rest of the hat. So 4.4 millimeter, is it 4.5? For 7s? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong in the notes below. But anyway, this hat is done. Finally, it's done. And I can just have my needles back from this, which is quite nice. So this saga is complete. Will I knit more of these? I think these are nice hats. Let me know how you feel about these in the comments below. I think they're nice. I feel like I could knit a few more of these and have them in a stash for gifts. I just don't know who would be in the market for these, you know? So anyway, I was originally making these to sell as well. So let me know your thoughts. Maybe someday I will actually pursue that, but for now, I'm not. But anyway, that was my second finished object. Well, let's see. Third finished object. Oh yes, this will also be a works in progress, but apparently after I finish every larger scale project that I have going on, I need to do like a solid palette cleanser, so I knit a whole bunch of washcloths. I have, let me pull this up here. I have a neon yellow, slightly see-through bag that I literally just keep all like miscellaneous cotton that I've used a little bit for something else, although I have one full skein in here. But most of this is almost full balls of cotton yarn, 100% cotton, like between sugar and cream and peaches and cream, and I love this cotton. I think that's all that I've ever really used. But I just go in here and I pull out cotton yarn and I knit dishcloths with it, or if I want to do something that involves cotton yarn. And then I have one little like monster skein that I'm using the magic knot on to just, if I have tiny little bits left, I'm putting it on that skein and I'll eventually knit dishcloths out of that. But yeah, so I've been dipping into that, and I actually finished 2 full dishcloths in this tan color. And this is a pattern I found in like a how to knit book, and then I slightly adapted. And it's actually really simple, and it was one of my mom's favorite patterns because this one doesn't stretch out quite as much as the like Granny's classic dishcloth that everybody knits from corner to corner. That one I find stretches out really bad. These still stretch out, but I feel like they have a little more grit to them with that seed stitch in the second center, and it's just a really nice dishcloth. And when my mom all back then had expressed that she liked these the best, I just kind of stuck with it because now that I'm using them, I definitely have to agree. And it's a good thing I have these in the rotation because I have had a few of ours die recently because we've been using them and washing them and reusing them for years. So they were finally dying on us. So it's good to have a few more. So these I'm pretty sure were made out of, I love this cotton from Hobby Lobby because they're so soft. I don't have the ball bands. And then I did 2 more. You can tell that I added scraps on. I ran out of this color, so I used this one, which is kind of close. And they're dishcloths, who cares? These will probably be mine. I might give those away. We'll see. But I did one of these, and then I did one of these, and you can tell, again, 2 different colors. I don't know if the camera's going to blow it out. You can tell this side is darker or more teal. But I did 2 more, so these will probably be ours for sure, just because they're scrappy, and I could definitely stash these away for gifts for someone who likes dishcloths because they're full color. Because I honestly, I like the scrappy ones better. They're just more fun to use, but I know a lot of people like the solid ones, so we'll save the solid ones as gifts, I think, and keep the others. But yeah, I'm still knitting on these. You'll see more in my works in progress, but another finished object. And then I only have one other one that I don't have to show. I kept saying I was gonna I keep telling myself like, I don't think I'm gonna knit or sew masks. I can't. I don't have anywhere to set my sewing machine. I don't have the materials. But my husband has had to start wearing a mask at work, and so I crocheted him one of those ear savers. Really easy pattern. If I remember it, I'll link it in my show notes, which pattern I used, because it was, I finished the first round and I'm like, all right, what's next? I'm like, oh, I'm done. And they seem to work. It seems to work. So made him one of those. I mean, to my knowledge, it was a success. I obviously am not using it because I don't go anywhere, but there is that. So that was my only other finished object. Let me just take a look over here and see. I think that's everything because I pre-wrote these show notes 2 nights ago now? Last night? 2 nights ago. And I kept forgetting, oh, I forgot this. I finished this too. So it was kind of nice, but my notes are a little messy this time. But with that, that's all my finished objects. Quite a few. Kind of exciting because I normally don't have that many. So I think I'm going to move on throwing everything in my project basket over here. Good old project basket. But anyway, we'll move on to works in progress. And this one you guys haven't seen for a while because I haven't done anything on them. But I have put progress on my hedgehog mittens by Spilly Jane, which is exciting because I hadn't touched them for a while. And it's actually only been the last couple nights that I've worked on this. But these are the hedgehog mittens by Spilly Jane. It's a paid for pattern. You can get it on Ravelry. I think I purchased it through Knit Picks years ago because I got this as a kit initially. My stitch marker is absolutely tangled in the yarn right now. Let's see if I can separate that. There we go. But I have made some progress. As you can see, I have the bodies of 2 hedgehogs with a little heart in the middle there. And then I will duplicate stitch the faces over to make them look more like hedgehogs and less like little bumps. And then the back side right now is looking like this. Super cool. I think I put a little over an inch in on this, so not a lot. I think I actually put more in since I last showed you, but just didn't show you because you couldn't really tell. But I have put more work into this. There's actually a bit of a mitten here. So I am very pleased. This is knit out of Knit Picks palette, their classic fingering. So it's a very woolly wool feeling yarn. It's very rustic and it's very nice. Well, not rustic in the sense of scratchy, but it's got that grip for color work, so it's really nice. I'm using Celadon. I believe this is a Celadon Heather, Bison, and then to duplicate stitch over the top, once I'm done, it'll be Oyster Heather. See it really nice. And I will have quite a bit of the Oyster Heather left. I'm guessing I'll have quite a bit of these left too, because when I knit my fingerless mitts from the, what were those called? The moth underwing mitts. Granted, there were no tops to the mittens and there wasn't a thumb, but that's not going to take a whole lot more yarn. So I'm guessing I'll have leftovers. This is being knit on US 1 2.25 millimeter needles before I just blow past that. But I have put a little progress on here, so that is nice. I do have to be careful because I lost my rhythm for knitting color work since I last knit those underwing mitts. So I'm kind of getting my rhythm back, and Midnight likes to attack yarn. And when I knit underwing mitts, I didn't have a cat, so taking a little bit longer to work through this, but that is perfectly okay. It's totally worth it. What else do I have? I'm just seeing here. My next, I heard a beep, I don't know what it was. My next work in progress is I'm still working on these squares. I actually finished one. That's all I finished on this. But these granny squares for blankets, this will just be ongoing, and then when I feel like it, I'll crochet them together. These are just the neon ones. I have darker ones. Like I said, I only finished one since we last spoke, so I haven't really worked on this much, but honorable mention, still working on this. So I'm using Red Heart Super Saver yarn and then a USH, what's the millimeter? 5 millimeter crochet hook. So that's what I'm working on there. And then we'll move on to the next one. We'll do this. So I do still have my socks. I have indeed put a tiny little bit of work on them since we last spoke, because if you remember the last time you saw these, other than the outside of the bag, because I hadn't progress on them, I had one finished tube. Well, since then, I have indeed finally cast it on the toe, because once I get past the toe, I can just pick this up and work on it whenever I want. And so I have a toe and I started knitting on the foot. So I have indeed started the second sock. These are knit out of Patton's Croy, the blue striped rag colorway. And I'm knitting them again on US 1 2.25 millimeter needles in my classic sock recipe toe up with a forethought afterthought heel, because I put in the waist yarn, and then I think that's it. Wow, there's really not much to it. Toe up sock. But yeah, pretty simple, really easy. I have another sock on the needles, so I can indeed work on this, which will be nice. We'll have that to work on. Like I said this last time, this project, normally my socks are for like when I go out and about, because it's something I can knit on when I'm not at home. But obviously right now we are not going anywhere, so I figured I might as well start on this anyway and at least show up from there. Okay. Last work in progress, which I didn't even include on there because I showed most of it in my finished objects, but I am knitting, again, another dishcloth. You probably recognize this color. But, yep, this is all I have left, so I'm very likely will be dipping into another skein of yarn from my scraps and making this a scrappy one. We'll see. But I knit these again on US 6 4.0 millimeter needles. I just have it on an old set of boy circular needles from Walmart. I originally had them on these needles that I'd gotten from I think these are from Hobby Lobby. They're like these cool, I don't know if you can see, these cool needles, but the problem with these is I go in spurts with being able to handle these, because the cords get all crimped because they're like a hollow plastic, and if you put lotion on, they make the worst squeaking noise. It's like nails on a chalkboard. So I had to switch those out. So we'll see if we go back to it. But I'm knitting on dishcloth, so I think that's actually my last work in progress is the dishcloth. Nothing to see there because you've already seen the finished ones. Like I said, this will probably be a scrappy one. So with that, I think I'll move on to, well, spinning. She's right here. I haven't touched her, so I really should. Excuse me, I got something in my eye. Ugh. But yeah, she's right there. I haven't touched her. I really need to get back to spinning. And really no excuse. I'm not going anywhere. So I need to spin some more. But otherwise, we'll move on to, I've forgotten this segment over the last few weeks because I was just being very repetitive. But I am on to upcoming cast-ons. And I'm just looking. I think it's finally time to start this. The Shisui Shrug by Suzanne Summer. It's that beautiful excuse to knit a shawl and then put sleeves on it. And I purchased the yarn. It's actually in this cubby behind everything here ages ago, and I showed it to you. It was that beautiful neon yarn, and I really should cast it on, but I have to purchase the pattern first. I haven't done that, so I will have to do that. I've been thinking about knitting a stuffy. Have you seen all the patterns that Susan B. Anderson has been putting out lately? They've been so cute. I've already purchased at least 2 of them. I've purchased Oliver Pig, and this last weekend, whenever she put on sale the moose pattern she's put out. She put on sale the moose and the clothing pattern, so it was half price. So if you bought the moose pattern itself plus the additional clothing that you can make for the moose, it ended up being the same price about as it would be to purchase the moose full price. So I just jumped and purchased the moose pattern with all of his clothing. So I'm really thinking I need to make one of those. Yes, I'm a child, but I really want the moose, and Oliver Pig is so cute. Her stuffy patterns are so cute. Like, I just want them all over my house. All the stuffies, everywhere. They're so cute. So I'm going to have to do that next. Still socks for my husband and my dad. I haven't been able to go anywhere to purchase sock yarn for such an animal. So I may have to order that eventually, but we'll see. That's down the line. And then I want to knit another shawl. Probably a stash busting shawl, because obviously at this point I'm really not purchasing more yarn right now just because of everything that's going on in the world. So yeah, I'm thinking I need to do a stash busting shawl or something. Stash busting project. Insert stash busting project here. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but if you have any suggestions, let me know, because I don't want to bring more yarn into this house. A, because I don't need it, and B, because even if I want it, I really should be saving my money now, just in case something happens. So, yeah. Stash busting project. I need to do that. Finally, we'll just put this out there. Stash acquisitions. None, zilch, zero, nothing. Sorry if I did something weird, but no stash enhancements here. Again, not bringing yarn into the house. Should use what I have and gotta save money. Non-knit loves. This completely goes against the gotta save money, but I will admit it. We purchased 2 patio chairs and a little table, and I absolutely love them. They're so cute. Oh my goodness, I'll have to get up. I have 1 more non-knit left. But we got 2 really nice patio chairs just from Walmart. We're not in a state where that type of stuff is blocked off. And they're very nice. It's super nice to actually be able to sit out on our patio now. When the weather is nice. It's been a little cooler, but it's just nice to have that option. Alright, so other than the patio chairs, I had to run off and get my book. Because you all know that maybe one of my first episodes, I think, of the podcast, I showed off this book, which I love so much. Magnolia Table, Collection of Recipes for Gathering by Joanna Gaines. Yes, I love this book. It's amazing. I have sticky notes in it. I'm re-looking at it. Well, I may or may not have obtained the new book. I ordered it on Amazon because I had it on sale for $20, and I figured I wouldn't get it for over a month. And it came in the mail, like, right away, which made me feel slightly guilty, because, yeah, I'm trying not to order stuff, but this was the only thing I had ordered, and it came right away. But it is her second cookbook. Highly recommend if you liked her first one, or you like her in general, and you like her style, you're gonna like this one. I want to make half the stuff in here already. Again, sticky noting it up. So, notable here. Final non-knit love would be my cast iron pan that we purchased. If I remember and I think about it, I'll stick a photo in here. My cat has decided that she likes to sit in it. Thankfully, I haven't used it yet. It's a large cast iron skillet. I haven't used it yet. We have it sitting on our like dining table just because I didn't want it, like, find a place to put it away, because I want to make sure it's properly cleaned, and then I'll season it once. Well, not season it, I'll oil it once before I use it. But she decided she likes sleeping in it. So she'll curl up. Yes, she goes on the table. We haven't figured out how to break her of it, and we feel like we have bigger fish to fry right now. So yes, she goes on the table. We try to keep her off. She mostly stays off for meals, but because we kick her off. But otherwise she does go on our table. But she will curl up in that stupid cast iron pan. So I guess it's not mine. But anyway, that'll just move us right on into life lately. We've been staying home. Nothing is new. Our Wisconsin stay-at-home order was extended to May 20-something. I don't remember the exact date anymore. So we're hunkering in for another month. I understand why it's needed, but it's starting to feel long, and I know everybody is saying the same thing. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people are. So just holding on. Definitely have been following the very stereotypical train of people making bread, because I finally got yeast and I have made pizza dough I don't know how many times. But we found a home run for breadsticks, a home run recipe for like breadsticks / crazy bread style. So that's delicious. So I was glad we found that. But otherwise, we're just holding on like the rest of the world. What can you do? But yeah. So I think, honestly, there's really not much to say there. It's been cloudy a lot, which hasn't been helpful. I just kind of want the sun, because the days that the sun has been out, I've just felt energized, and it's been great. And then I've been really affected by the weather lately. And guys, I think I actually have allergies here. Maybe it's because we live in a place where there's actually spring, but like I woke up one day and my eyes were puffy and I couldn't breathe. And I took an allergy tablet and all was better. I've never had allergies before. I mean, I've been allergic to snow mold, the mold that is on the grass when intense amounts of snow finally melt. If you live in a place where that is a thing, which we don't anymore. But that's weird. It's really weird. Like, because obviously I did the stereotypical thing everybody did, and I'm like, my nose sniffled. Wait, that's not an exact symptom of corona. Oh no. And then I was like, allergies. That's new. But anyway, other than that, yeah, I'm just rambling at this point. And I know a lot of people are enjoying the content with people just being there to talk, but I don't need to talk off your ear about nothing. So with that, I think I will wrap this up here, and I'll see you in a couple more weeks. If you want to find me on the interwebs, of course, you can find me on Instagram as Victoria Schwanke. Again, Ravelry, lilwestie, the blog, Mastadon.wordpress.com, Facebook, and of course, YouTube here. If you liked this video, please give it a like, subscribe, comment on the video, share it with your friends. Let's build this community up and have something to share with each other while we're in lockdown and beyond. I would love to build this community. If you have any questions, feel free to just comment below or send me a message, and I will respond as best I can. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you in my next podcast. Bye.